everyone. Let's go ahead and get into how to multiply and divide fractions, just a little refresher lesson. All right, what is so awesome about multiplying and dividing fractions? Compared to addition and subtraction, it's way easier. Love multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay, so let's start off multiplying fractions. How do you multiply fractions? Well, it's wonderful because when you multiply fractions, so fractions have a numerator and a denominator, and a numerator and denominator. All you do is multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So if we're looking at our example problem right here, numerator times numerator, 3 times 2 is 6. And denominator times denominator, 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, now don't forget, you have to make sure that you are reducing before you say that you have your final answer. So 6 and 28, well, they're both even numbers. So I know I can divide both of them by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 3 and 14, I can't divide those by the same number, so my final answer, 3 over 14. So numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and reduce if necessary. Okay, practice problems. So go ahead and pause the video, write down the practice problems, and then you can either do them yourself and check your answers starting the video, or you can do the practice problems with me, or you can do one practice problem with me, pause the video, do the second one, and then check your work. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Number 1, 7 over 10 times 5. Well, 5, any whole number, don't forget, we can rewrite it as a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. And now we have a fraction with numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. 7 times 5 is 35. 10 times 1 is 10. Now, taking a look at this, 35 and 10, I can divide both of those by 5, giving me 7 over 2. Hey, don't forget, if you can leave it in its improper form if it's reduced, or you can turn it into its mixed number form. Either answer will be counted as correct. All right, on this next one, I want to do something just a little bit differently because these numbers are huge. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to multiply 14 times 15. So I am going to look and see if I can reduce diagonally first. The butterfly, have you seen this yet? So if we look at the diagonals, 21 and 14, well, I can divide 21 and 14 by 7. So if I divide, so I've got 3 and 14 divided by 7 is 2. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Those are much easier numbers. So now I can do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominators. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 15 is 30. 9 and 30 are both divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So my final answer in its reduced form is 3 over 10. How did you do on those? All right, let's move on to division. How do you divide fractions? Now, dividing fractions is almost as easy as multiplying, except we need to do one additional step. Now, you've probably heard it a few different ways. Same switch flip, keep change change, math word for it: invert and multiply. Okay. So when you are dividing fractions, you keep the first fraction the same. So same, keep. You switch or change the sign, and you flip the second fraction over. Okay. So keep 2 over 5, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the second fraction and invert it. Now you go back to multiplication and you do numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator and reduce if necessary. Now again, putting it into its mixed number, that's not really reducing. This improper fraction is reduced, so you can keep it like this or you can switch it to mixed number. Doesn't matter to me. Let's try some practice problems. Okay. Once again, go ahead and pause the video while you're writing down the practice problems, and then either do them on your own and check your work with the video, or let the video play and you can work as we go along. Okay, so again, we're going to keep, switch, flip. Okay, and then numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 5 times 10 is 50. 6 times 3 is 18. Now I'm noticing that 50 and 18 are both even numbers, which means I can divide both of those by 2. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So I can keep 25 divided by 9 because that is reduced, or I can turn it into its mixed number form, which is 2 and 7 over 9. Either one is acceptable. Number 4, keep, switch, flip. Okay. And then numerator times numerator. 3 times 7 is 21. Denominator times denominator. 8 times 2 is 16. 21 and 16, we can't divide those by anything, so this is in its reduced form, or you can put it in its mixed number form, which is 1 and 5 over 16. Awesome. How'd you do? Hopefully big thumbs up. Okay, so what is the major difference between multiplying and dividing fractions? Right, in dividing fractions, you have to do the same switch flip, keep change change, invert multiply, but then you go back to multiplying. Is it possible to simplify before you multiply or divide? And the answer is yes. Remember, you can cross-reduce using the butterfly. And then think about it. What's your strategy for simplifying a fraction? How do you know if a fraction is in its simplest form? And that's it. Simple, right?